Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 1 of Everything Abroad. This is a segment of the Pascal Aquila Show where we talk about life outside home, especially for Africans and yes, Kenyans, my homeland. But the message is overall for everyone who desires to move abroad. And I want to tell you why I'm doing this. I get a lot of texts, calls, long WhatsApp, voice notes, and SMS from people I know, from friends, from family, and even from people I don't know. And it's always the same thing. Bro, I'm about to make a big move. Should I sell my things? Should I leave my job? Is America really like what people say? Will it work for my marriage, for my kids, for my future? A lot of people are standing right at the edge of a life-changing decision. And I have watched people jump without a plan and lose everything. So this is not content or hype. This is a resource, a guide before you lose it all. Now, let's get into the real agenda. People sell their houses back home, and this is something that I have personally witnessed. These are homes that they have worked for their entire lives to build. They abandon their families. They walk away of their stable jobs, all in the hype of America. Listen to me carefully. I have seen people lose everything not because they were lazy, but because they were misinformed, or maybe they didn't have sufficient information. This is because nobody slowed them down and told them the truth. That is why I created this space, to be a resource that guides you before you lose it all. And maybe America is not everything you are told. Maybe the story you heard is incomplete. So I am trying to do this and provide a resource from my own perspective and the perspective of people that I have interacted with. But I'm gonna try to be as honest as possible because as we speak, I know there are people who just need a word, just need some light to make the right decision. So let me say this the way most people want. Overall, America is not hard. America is expensive. And if you come here with the wrong plan, this place will humble you very fast. If you are in Africa watching this and planning to move to the US, again, I'm not here to hype you. I'm here to save you from embarrassment, debt, and regret. I want you to note those 3 important words. This segment of our show of Everything Abroad is here to save you from embarrassment, debt, and regret. Now, let's talk some receipts. First, this episode is for only people who are planning to move to the US, and somehow also for people who have relatives abroad who are exerting a lot of pressure on them. So this could be students, workers, families, and anyone who is thinking, oh, I will just hustle when I land. Now, in the next 10 to 15 minutes, I will show you why the job market is not the movie you watched in your apartment or in your home. The 3 costs that trap newcomers, and the 1 move that makes America work for you. Now, before we jump into that, I want us to do some reality checks. So reality check number 1. I know, my friends, you've heard this term, America's many jobs. Well, that is true. But here is what they don't tell you. Hiring slows sometimes. And when it slows, newcomers like ourselves, like yourself who is planning to come, feel it fast. For example, in the US, the unemployment rate up to December 2025 was 4.4%. That number sounds calm, and I know you might compare it to what we have back home and say 4.4%. Well, that is until you understand the real competition. Please note, you are not competing with one person. You are competing with a system, with people with experience, licenses, credit history, references, paperwork, and all the local network that they need. So if your plan is, I will learn and figure it out, that is not faith. And I'm saying that with a lot of conviction, that because I am also a man of faith. But in quotes, I will learn and figure it out. That is not faith. That is gambling. Please note, America rewards planning, not vibes. Most Africans arrive prepared for rent and food. And just like most of us, myself, my wife, most of us who come here, that is always the bill that comes into our mind when we move here. That so long as I have some money for my rent and some money for my food, I will start from there. But America has three costs that will drain your lives. And I'm going to make it plain with comparisons that you can feel and compare at home. Now, cost number one is the transportation. Outside a few cities, you need a car. Actually, I think I'm wrong. You need a car as long as you live in the United States. Not nice to have, but you need a car because it's a necessity. It's not a luxury. Now, I was looking at some data from AAA, and it estimates that in the year 2025, that was just 1 month ago, the average cost to own and operate a new vehicle was about $11,577 per year. Well, I went further and divided that into monthly bill, and it was coming to $964 and about 78 cents per month. Now, before someone says, I will buy a used car, yes, you do that. But used cars still come with insurance, registration, repairs, tires, and the breakdown always comes at the worst time. Maybe when you are so broke or you are in the middle of the road. So I want you to know, car equals monthly pressure. That is something I really want you to think about. And I know it's so easy to say, hey, but I still own and drive a car in Kenya. They are slightly different things. Now, let's move to cost two. People think once you get a job, healthcare is solved. That's not always the case. I was able to pull some data from KFF, and it said that in 2025, employer-sponsored family coverage premiums averaged about $26,900, out of which workers contributed about $6,850 on average. Now, let me try to translate this as simple as I could. Even in good jobs, you will still be paying real money every month, especially with family coverage. And this surprises a lot of people, especially migrants who moved to the West and America. Let us have a look at cost number three. If you have kids, childcare can eat your salary and your peace. I have my own. We are blessed with two daughters, and I can tell you, children require medical attention, and you will always have to take them into for appointments and for doctor checkup, and this is regular. So healthcare and medical cover is mandatory. Again, I went online and I wanted to check, what does care.com say as of 2025? Averagely, if you are taking your kids on a daycare because probably you both need to work, you will be spending about $343 per week. Again, that depends with where you're living. That's not small money. That's a bill. Now, those are three costs that we have covered so far. This is where people will get mad with me. Good. Some Africans don't move to America. They move into debt. They chase income. They ignore expenses. So let us use a simple example. If you earn $20 an hour, and I'm just trying to say $20, it depends with which state you live. It depends with what kind of job you do. It depends with which industry you are. But as a matter of fact, when you move here, probably you don't have the skills needed, or you probably don't have connections that you need and the kind of information that you need. You're going to start doing manual jobs. Again, depends with which visa you are coming on. So on average, you're going to earn, depends with which state you are, between $17 to probably $25. So I wanted to put an average at $20 an hour. So if you're working full time, that's about $41,600 a year before taxes, assuming you work 5 days. Well, that sounds good in Kenya, but in America, after bills, you can still feel broke and taxes are real. I wanted to see how this affects us, and I pulled a report from the 2025 IRS standard deduction. IRS is the Internal Revenue Services, or the KRA of the US. And I discovered that from married filing jointly, you're gonna part with about $31,500. Now, let's take some pause. I want you to know, friends, gross pay is not your money. And of course, this is something that you know even from whichever country that you live in currently. So ideally what I'm saying is that I'm not saying don't come. I'm saying don't come with a fantasy. Again, I'm not saying don't come, but I'm saying don't come with a fantasy. Now, America is not one experience, and I will give an example. Texas is not New York. Missouri is not California. Let me give you a rent example that hits immediately. As of January 2026, close to home where I live in Missouri, an average one-bedroom rent costs about $901 to $1,250 per month. Well, feel easy to convert that in your local currency. I'll also give a quick example of a small town in California called San Marcos, where I lived in 2016 when I was an exchange student. As of January 2026, an average one-bedroom rent cost $2,449. You can round off that to $2,500 a month for a one bedroom. And of course, you know, if you have kids, you're not going to live in one bedroom. So the distinction is clear. Same country, different planets. Now, what this means is that a one bedroom in Springfield can be close to what some people pay for an apartment average back home. But in San Marcos in California, it is like paying 3 times what you currently pay in your local city. That is if you fall in the middle class. And that's why I keep telling people, don't ask which visa, because I receive a lot of these questions. Ask which state matches my reality. Now, I also want to provide, and I hope I'm still within the 10-15 minutes, I want to provide another aspect of the receipt. Your family size matters. I wanted to justify this, and I looked at the MIT's living wage calculator, and it showed, since I live in Missouri, that is something that it's easy kind of to do a comparison with where you live. So here was their math. A single adult with no children needs about $20 an hour as a living wage. A single working adult with 2 children requires about $47 an hour. That doesn't mean you can't survive on less. People do. It means once kids enter into the picture, the math even tightens faster. Now, in my opinion, this is what makes the move to America work. Number one, stop moving emotionally. Start moving strategically. Secondly, before you land, you must know your first 90-day budget, your rent reality in your target city, your employment pathway. And by employment pathway, I mean, are you licensed? What is your credential transfer looking like? Are you a student? Are you a nurse? Are you in the tech? Are you trade? Etc. etc. If you don't know those three, you are not moving. You are jumping. Now, this is the segment where I will offend someone, and please forgive me in advance. Not everyone should move to the US right now. Some people need to build skills, build savings, build a plan, because America punishes confusion. Again, let me repeat that aspect. Not everyone should move to the US right now. Some people need to build skills, build savings, build a plan, because America punishes confusion. In the next episode, I am going to name 3 types of people who should not move yet. The state shortlist that makes sense for new Africans, and the one mistake that destroys marriages after relocation. Now, friends, if this video annoyed you, that's good. That means you are listening. If you are serious about moving, comment below. Let me know which country are you in, which US state are you aiming for, and if you call me your friend, don't just say big up bro. Please subscribe, share, because this channel will tell the truth people avoid. This is Everything Abroad on the Pascal Aquila Show. Until tomorrow, see you and stay safe. Thank you.